Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Sina, your host, and in this video we're going to learn how to show the data of our customers on the Chartjs or literally any other chart system such as Google Charts, Apex Charts, Chartjs, and so on. But first of all, we need to register our customer on our website using gravityforms. For this one, we need to change the default form of the WordPress registration. And for this, we need to create a simple gravity form and use the gravity form user registration add-on. So the first step is to create a form. Then guide a user to register on our website, not just by the WordPress default. By using a created form, then we need to create a gravity view for our data. And the next step is to create an API for the view. And the final step is to use this API data to create an amazing charts. This final step requires creating a lightweight and simple plugin. So be with me in this video, and together in this little juicy video we're going to create 0 to the final steps of the user data of our chart. Okay, let's proceed creating a custom registration with the gravity form and showing the data over the chart using Chartjs. Let's do it. First of all, we need to have a checklist. So here is my checklist. The first item is to create a user registration form. So we need to create a customized user registration form for our website and our business. For example, my business is to get a detail of the customer's address and stuff. One, maybe be the data of the students, their educational level, their courses that they've taken, and so on. There's no difference. It's all customizable for you. Let's just open the dashboard. Let's switch to the forms, and I've already created one, but we're going to just customize it again. Okay, this is the form with the name of user registration, which is created with the gravity form. And now let's just check out the fields. The item 1 is the name, last name, email address, phone number, bio, social account address, city, and the home address. But there's a point here. To create a user with this form, we need to make the email field required. So the WordPress requires us to provide an email link. And the next point is the password field. Because of the security, if you just put an input like this here as the password, it is you can just deal with it with this field. But the password will be stored in the gravity form as a clear text. So it is not right. The WordPress will not allow you to just save the user's data without hashing and the MD5 format of the default WordPress. So we do not need to add a password field. What will happen here? The user will receive an automatic email after the user is created. For example, I'm registering with my personal email address. The WordPress will email the generated password for me, and then I can just change it. It's not a big deal, but there's no field required for the password. So the form is okay, and we're going to save it. If you want to get to know the gravity form fields one by one, I already have a video on my YouTube channel, Web Dev Diary. You can be familiar and learn a lot about these fields. These are so complex and advanced fields that can be configured and used. So in the system, it is just all right with the submitted form. Now, if you want to change the WordPress default user registration form to this form, you need to activate an add-on. There is an add-on for the Gravity form, the name of user registration add-on. So if you just purchase and activate it, it is the link will be available on the description of the video to see on official website of the Gravity form. If you activate this add-on, there will be an option with the name of user registration in the form settings. So if I just click on it, it will ask me to create a new registration method for my website. Here is one. I'm just adding a new item. In the add-on setting, there is two options. You can either create a user with this form, or maybe you need to update information. For example, you have registered user with the form A and it is so simpler, so user will take no time to complete it. And then you're going to ask user to provide more data, for example, their credit card address, their website, their social media links, their, I don't know, profile picture, banner, and so on. So if you want to update that, you need to check the update user. Here we want to just create a user, and let's name it the user creation by Gravity form. As you can see, there are some fields required to do this. One is username. You can either ask user to enter their username or just pick up one of these, for example, email address, and set it as a username. The first name is the name on my form. Last name is the L name. I want to pick up the last nickname as a name. The display name. You can use either nickname, username, first name, last name, or combination of the first name and last name. I'm using this. The email address I told you previously it will be required is here. The password, as I told you, will be emailed as soon as the user is registered. So there is in the final item here that which is asking us in which user role should this add-on generate the submitted user. For example, I'm submitting this form on the page of create subscriber, and you need to create another form to, I don't know, some custom user role, for example, a student. That page is different, the form is different, and the add-on setting is different. In this item, I'm going to just create an subscriber. Just pay attention to this item. Do not never put it on the administrator, because everyone that submits this form can log in and see everything on your website. This is very dangerous option, so always keep it in subscriber or any other custom user role that you have created and you're sure that it is the permission of this user is all right. And the next section here is user meta. The items that you previously saw in this section is the required data for creating user. Username, email, password, they are the basic and fundamentals of the user creation in WordPress. And there is an other extra or additional data with the name of user meta. You can put some stuff like bio, like, I don't know, the IP address, country, anything that you can create, and also we can create and actually anything you want. I'm creating a bio. I have received a phone number from user. I can just create a meta for it to store that phone number, submit it from form. I'm selecting the field related that one. And now here we're going to add another user meta. Is there something left? social account address, anything. You can create a complex and a complete form registration, and you can receive anything that you need from user. And after this, we're going to show it on the chart and the table, so you can have a exact detail and exact statistics of your users. For example, how much of your users are living in the United States, for example, their social address, their educational level. You can compare them and do anything you want. It is so exciting. The additional option to send, this is the default email activation, which is sending to the user when the account is created. And here's the point. If you just check it, enable user activation, you need to confirm the user after it is submitted. For example, I'm submitting on your website. You as an administration should accept my submit, so my data will be not junk data. I'm confirmed users, then my user will be generated and registered. If I just uncheck it, everyone that actually submits will get a username. So let's just check it manually or by form notification. So it is all right. You can just set a condition like the phone number should start with some prefix, or the country should be something that's whitelisted, or gender, or anything. It is condition based on the form field. For example, you're asking me to enter my country. If I just enter, for example, Canada, it is all right to be registered on your website. But it is, for example, India, it is not. I don't know, it's just a rule of your website. The form will submit, but the user will not be generated. And after that, I'm not setting any condition here. So I'm just saving the form. Let's just save it. And there was a previously added condition to user registration that I did before the video. I'm going to disable it, so we will not get any conflict. This is the item that I've just created, and this was the previous. I'm going to delete it. It was just for test. So if I add this form to the page, so user can just open it in URL and submit the form. Let's deal with it. And there is a point in the user registration form. It is better to be considered email address, because we're using this as a username. So the username must be unique. As in form submitted, you have to check the no duplicate. So the user will not be able to submit the form with this username more than once. If I just put my email address again, the website will give me an error that email is already in use. So let's just create a custom validation message. These items here are completely explained in the previous video. I'm just taking whatever I need. Customize validation message for the email is already in use. Sign in or use another email address. So if the user puts the repetitive email address here, the message will go on and it will tell the user the email is already in use, sign in or add another email. So we have guaranteed that it is unique username. And let's just save the form and embed the form in the page. If you want to show this form in the page, you need to create a new page. Let's just switch to the new page, name it sign up page, and paste the shortcut here. So the form is shown here. Let's publish it. Okay, the page published. Let's see it. I've logged in as an administrator, so I'm just copying it and opening in the incognito mode, so I'm not considering a logged in user. I'm just a normal visitor. So this is the form that we have created. Let's just add some data. The email address, for example, I'm putting my business email. The phone number is just something test. Bio, the test. Bio. The social account, for example. Cities. Address is test. Okay. If I submit this, thank you for contacting. This is the default confirmation text. You can change it. And the website here on the setting and confirmation. It is best to just tell the user their registration is completed and they'll be activated after the administrator confirms it. So let's change it to the item. Your registration is completed. The account will be emailed after admin confirmation. The account info. Okay. Let's just save it. And here is the point. Pending activation is actually the place that all of the data of the users will be stored here. So if you just pay attention here, this is the email I just submitted. It is waiting to my activation here as an administrator. If I just check the users, there's no user with this email address. There's nothing because we just checked the activation level. If I just uncheck that setting in the here, if I just uncheck the item of the requiring user activation, it is unchecked, the user will just be created automatically after the form submission. But I have checked this, so administrator must activate the user. So I'm going to activate it. Yes. And if I just refresh the users, I expect to see this user. Here we go. The user with the role of subscriber is registered on the website via Gravity form. So we want to see these registered users as a table. So we just connect in Chartjs and do some filtering stuff and so on. Let's just go back to the checklist here. At this item, we just created a user registration form via Gravity form. We have created the WordPress user, submitted from the Gravity form, not just the WordPress default. Now we need to create a user data view. So we need to install and activate the Gravity view to show these entries, which are users, as a table. Let's do it. In my form, after activating the Gravity view, which goes by the name of Gravity Kit, we can add a view from here. Connected views, create a view. Let's just give a name to our view. Registered users. Now the form, the data source is user registration form, which is right. I'm going to select the data table. Now let's add the item. These are the default items. The full explanation of the Gravity view is also on my channel. You can use it and actually dive into this amazing plugin. This is so much powerful. This is a real database tool that can you can do anything with it. Gravity mass is for calculation. It is available on lots of charts. You can filter, you can just export anything you want. You can combine two or more forms together to create the join command of the database, and it is very much very much great. I'm using it over 6 years. It is amazing. I've done lots of complex things with it. Okay, let's just deal with it. Let's add the items that we need to show on the table. I need a name, a last name, email, phone number, and bio. Social, account address, city, and address. I want to see the creation date, and I want to put in row number here. So let's just drag and drop it to the first and rename it as a shop. Okay, let's uncheck this item to show all the data, not just approve the ones. Now I'm just disabling cache. Let's publish the view. Okay, the view is published. Let's open it in the new tab. So I expect to see all my submitted data here. Here we go. We just submitted this number 3 right now. If anyone submits this form, you can see as an administrator on this page. You can filter it. You can enable lots of amazing stuff here, such as field filters on the header, export to Excel, PDF, or CSS custom columns. You can enable a responsive table. You can create an auto-updated table, so if the user submits the data, you can see it live by actually without refreshing the page. It's amazing here. You can add custom CSS or JavaScript. You can set a permission to allow the REST access. Here is the next point. We want to see this data over API, so we can just feed the chart. Let's save it here and let's update the form to add some filters over here. Okay, as you can see, you can filter it by my name. Example, here we go. It is live filter with the highest speed ever. You can show or hide some columns. You can copy or export as an Excel, CSV, or anything. And after that, this is the actually field to search all the table. I'm just removing this. The creation date is also available and searchable. This is the step 3 of the checklist, which is done. Now we need to create an API to see these data over API. Okay, let's just open the API and endpoint page on the Gravity Kit website. Here is the guide of the seeing the data of the Gravity view over the API. It is available in some formats like JSON, HTML, CSV, or TSV. I'm using the JSON here. So this is the syntax of the URL. I'm just copying it till here. And I need to get my view ID. It is 44. And I'm just adding it to my URL, changing the view ID to 44, but I will get an error here. As you can see, you are not allowed to access this content because we haven't actually activated the REST API on our view. So we have to come back to the view, registered user with the ID of 44, and we have to scroll down in the permission field. We need to check the allow REST access. Let's update it and reload the page here. So, boom, this is the API. Respond for the gravity view with the ID of 44. I can see all the data. There is 3 items on the page, and let's compare this ID. Yes, there are 3, and here is the 3. And there is a point here. The API of the gravity view just requires 10 items by default. If you have more than 10 items, the API will respond incomplete to you. So because of dealing with this, you have to put the limit to 0. This will provide all of your data. I just caught some problems with this. I only received and showed only 10 items. So I digged deeper in the REST API endpoints of the gravity view, and I came to this conclusion that if you add this limit to 0, you will get all of your data. You can deal with pagination or stuff like this, but as in direct API access, you can use this limit to 0. So creating API step is already checked, and let's just check these. Creating a chart from the registered as user data is our next data. If you just search for it, GF chart, this is the actually a plugin for the gravity form, which allows you to show the data over some kind of charts, but it is a plugin and is limited charts. I'm not using it. I've used it lots of years, but I'm just using Chartjs to be able to create anything we want. Chartjs is a JavaScript chart rendering system that allows you to create lots of data and lots of types of charts. You can see in here, there's a lot of charts. For example, linear charts, bar charts, pie charts, anything that you want. And here is the code of the chart. Let's just create a simple plugin in the next video to connect these APIs. Let me find it. These data and show them on the any of these charts. Actually, I'm going to create it dynamically so we can change the type of chart. So if you just you have come here step by step to the fourth step of the creating a custom user registration form with gravity form. The final step requires some coding, a simple plugin which is going to be added to the WordPress, and we're going to create it by the simple PHP. I'll guide you step by step to connect these API response and show them literally on any chart that you want. Thank you. If you have any other questions about these steps or any complexity, please comment and subscribe to see more from this amazing world of WordPress and gravity forms. Thank you.